have a whole lot to give you as far as the mixed tag match. I liked it a lot. Thought it was really good, but
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot there other than Rhea Ripley is so beating Charlotte at WrestleMania. She is just she's fantastic in everything she's doing now. I thought Beth Phoenix looked great, and I'm not sure where we go here for Edge for WrestleMania. Like, did
Well,
they
that was
announce
my
that Edge
thing.
is Edge fighting Austin Theory for the championship tomorrow night? I think he is. I think Edge is fighting
Yes.
for the U.S.
So
title.
at the press conference, Theory ended it in his very he needs to figure out his mic stuff. He has trouble. He's just he has some work to do on the mic. But because the weird thing, like again, remember I told you like these press conferences are kind of weird because like Sammy in his press conference
Some guys are in character and some guys are not. Right?
was just human Sami Zayn,
Yeah,
and Austin Theory was straight up in gimmick,
I like it.
like talking shit to the reporters. The first girl asked him like 6 or 7 questions within one, and he's like, "What's that? 10 questions? You couldn't get any more questions?" Like he called her out on it.
I think it's cool that they could pick whichever way they want to do it. I like
Yeah.
it.
But at the end, he had this very like awkward, clunky way of announcing that he's doing an open challenge on Raw. He's like
And
tomorrow
so
night
Edge
on Raw.
already answered it.
Well, and so Austin Theory's like, I'm going to do an open challenge on Raw, and I don't think anyone's good enough, or I don't think anyone. And he just kept stumbling over his words. He's like, basically, I don't think anyone's going to answer it. And then the next press conference was Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Okay.
And at the end of the press conference, Edge goes, "Oh, by the way, the guy who was just out here wearing sunglasses because I guess it's too bright in here. Apparently, he's doing an open challenge, and I haven't challenged for that title in a long time."
So I guess they felt the need to promo it, but because I would have much rather it been a surprise.
So I don't know if Edge was supposed to do that.
Oh, maybe
Like
it was.
I wonder if he wasn't supposed to do that, but because he did it, they're like, well, I guess we'll just have Edge go out there because it's not like Austin Theory's losing. So
Right.
and it's still in Canada. So I think Edge was like, we're still in Canada. And I haven't fought for a title in Canada in a long time.
Look,
So
that's a
yeah.
good way to continue putting heat on Austin Theory. Like
Now,
you know,
interestingly, Edge brought up Cena about how Theory used to be a Cena fan or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
So they keep bringing up Cena, which is good because
Okay.
I think most people think that's where Theory's headed.
Yeah.
My thing with the mixed tag match, well, two things. One, I thought it was good that the majority of the time, at least it seemed to me, was the women fighting. Like I was glad that they got the time because we've seen Edge and Finn, and we've seen versions of that.
I want to see Rhea as much as possible.
And we also just haven't seen Rhea and Beth Phoenix fight ever.
Mhm.
So we thought we were going to get a singles match, and we essentially almost did because that's the way mixed tag matches are. And they got most of the time. I think it's weird that they lost, that Judgment Day lost for multiple reasons. One being all the rumors was that it was going to be Edge and Finn and in a Hell in the Cell at Mania as like the blow off. But the way that ended last night seemed like it's over.
I think it's over.
And then also, I think having Rhea Ripley lose her first match post Rumble is a little weird because she's not going to have many matches leading up to Charlotte. So I thought it was a little weird for her to lose. She didn't take the pin, so she doesn't look weak.
Yeah.
But I thought it was weird. So yeah, I don't know where they go next. I hope it's over, to be honest, because like Lesnar, I think Finn Balor is a top 5. Like I thought about this today because I've been thinking about Brock and Sammy and Roman, and I was thinking like who are like the guy, like if you were to put together a list of the top 5 guys that could be the face of the company in it, like just any order, I was thinking about who my list would be, and it was obviously Roman because he is that guy. I obviously think Cody can be that guy. I think Seth Rollins has that ability.
Mm-hmm.
Brock is that guy, even though he's not around enough. And I think Finn Balor is the guy.
Yeah, I would have AJ on it over Finn Balor.
Oh, I don't know. Because here's why. In the ring, incredible. Telling a story, talking, he's great. But Finn has this thing where, like, for a casual person who doesn't watch wrestling, you look at Finn Balor, you're like, I need to know more about that guy. What's that guy's story? You look at AJ, you're like, who's this guy? AJ looks like
AJ looks cool.
Well, AJ looks like professional wrestling. Like if I wasn't a professional wrestling fan, I'd look at that guy and I'd be like, oh yeah, that. I look at Finn Balor and I'm like, what's this guy's story? And then he's got the accent and he's funny. Like I think he could be like a face of WWE type guy. And I think he's headed that way. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Cody does win if his first feud isn't against Finn. What that means for WrestleMania, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they still do something with Edge, but it seems like it's done.
So we got one more match here we got to talk about, and then I want to hear your thoughts on Mercedes Moné.
And I got a couple things from New Japan because I just thought in my mind what could be next for Finn, but I'll talk about it when we get to New Japan.
Cool. So the men's Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship was freaking awesome. I don't know any. Great. I mean, just
everyone shined. Everyone had a moment.
Phenomenal. And so, like I already told you, they used the Raquel Rodriguez spot with Bronson Reed, which I'm cool with. It makes all the sense in the world. I mean, they took turns giving him. He was the first eliminated. They took turns, everyone giving him their finishing maneuver. That's how you take him out. No problem at all. I'll tell you, they got me, man. Like I fell for it. Where I got really concerned about Montez Ford.
So did I.
They got me, man.
No. I thought you know what did it? When he fell coming out, when he fell on the stairs.
Yeah. Well, they already got me before that part, but then I was even more, I don't like this. This is very upsetting to me. And I'm saying, I'm watching it with my younger son, and we're with actually the three of us. My older son was here too, because it's got his attention now also if he's really hurt. And I'm like, I mean, I know they throw up the X if he's really hurt, but I don't like the look in his eyes. I don't like all of the, I don't like what's happening. The guys in the ring have stopped the action. They're not continuing on. That's something you do when.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, so they fooled me, man. They got me. Yeah. And then Logan Paul comes around. It's like, so I was relieved actually when Logan Paul ran to the ring. It's like, the only thing I was concerned about was, Montez Ford's okay. This is what was happening. Logan Paul, they had to keep the door open.
To be honest, even when Logan came in, I was still a little concerned.
No, I wasn't concerned at all anymore at that point.
Once Logan came, it took me a second once Logan came in to put it together, because when I was still like, that didn't look good.
No, I was on the stairs. I was totally off. Okay, good. I feel better. So I wasn't even mad about what Logan Paul was about to do. I was happy that it meant Montez Ford, who, I mean, look, we've been saying it for a long time. He is such a star. Such a star.
Well, I haven't been saying it. Yeah, I haven't been saying it.
No, you haven't?
No, I think he's a great wrestler.
I think he just.
I don't think he's a top guy. I don't think he's a top guy.
Yeah, but I think he screams, singles competitor. Like
sure. Yeah. But but like Montez Ford going after the U.S. title is cool.
Yeah,
but I think that's like.
You don't need to strap a rocket to his back.
Well, I know, but I keep seeing people
even
saying,
Shawn Michaels. I mean, Shawn Michaels had that Intercontinental Championship for years,
I know, but I keep seeing what people are saying, are reacting the way you just reacted. He's such a star. I think,
but
I'm
not saying he needs to fight for the undisputed championship.
I know, but there's a lot of guys that I think are really, really good that aren't such a star.
I do think, though, I think he's got to come out of this where it's like, yo, Angelo, I don't know if I need you anymore. I was in the chamber. You weren't. I was this close to winning the U.S. championship. You weren't even on the card. Like, I think that's got to be the heel turn for him, where it's like, I'm too good for you. I think they got to lean into that now. I think now is the time.
Well, I think putting him in the chamber was probably the start of it, and then whatever you saw him do at All-Star Weekend for hockey.
Yeah. For people who don't remember that, the Street Profits were here in Sunrise, the NHL All-Star Weekend, and when they were being interviewed by ESPN, like Montez Ford made note that he's the leader of the Street Profits, and Angelo Dawkins gave him a weird look.
He was on the bump yesterday, and he's leaning into all the people that helped me get to this moment where I'm able to be on my own. Like, he's leaning into that story too. He's not saying that he's not with Dawkins, but he also is leaning into, like, I got to this moment with the help of all these other people.
And also, don't forget, man, they got that reality show starting soon. Like, they're going to be featuring him, man. They're going to be featuring him.
I know. And In the ring, he's incredible. Although I will say that spot where he like off the top of the cage,
That's cool as hell. He's like
was
Spider-Man.
it?
He's like
Was it?
Spider-Man.
He just fell.
I liked it.
I mean, it was cool the way he held on. It
Yeah,
made
he
it
looked
look
like
cool.
Spider-Man the way he was
It
holding on.
It looked cooler because of that, but at the end of the day, he just fell on top of people. Like it was cool, but like he just fell.
Wasn't it one of the luchadors did that a few years ago?
Yeah,
Right?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but yes, I'm sure it's been done. Look, he's great in the ring. You know what it is that every time I ever hear him talk, I kind of cringe. His personality is just super corny.
How about when he was about to do the people's elbow?
Yeah, and you can't do that.
What's the reference there? Like, why was he about to do people's elbow?
But he was also doing the DX chop in the middle of his thing. Like, he's just like a little too
all
much.
over the place.
He's a little too much for me.
And then he does the Ultimate Warrior with the ring ropes.
Yeah, and he's always screaming, and he's always like he's like very spastic,
he's very charged up, man.
He's very charged up, and also he has put on a lot of mass over the last few years. So I don't know what's getting him charged up, but maybe he's a little like, he's booging out, as they say.
Out.
But yeah,
I loved Austin Theory winning though. Like it was,
yeah, it makes
I thought he was going to win. It's funny, man. It was a great show, and like literally everything, as far as the big matches go, the two chambers and the main event, it all went according to plan, and it was still a great show.
Yep. Yeah, I think what stood out to me in that match was Bronson Reed and Damian Priest. They're both awesome. Like I know there's people are iffy on Damian Priest. I think he's awesome. I think they can move. I actually think we're headed towards Judgment Day not being around much longer. It just feels that way. But Damian Priest was awesome. Bronson Reed, the way Bronson Reed took the poison Rana from Johnny Gargano, like for a guy his size,
I thought he broke his neck.
For a guy his size to be able to pull that off is insane. And speaking of Gargano, what about the spot with him and Rollins off the pod? The Hurricane Rana off the pod. Cool. Neither of them can see where they're going. Cool. Johnny Gargano is facing forward, and then Seth Rollins has Johnny Gargano's balls in his face, so he can't see where he's going. And they just it was the whole match was great. Logan Paul
great match. Love the Logan Paul thing.
Logan Paul, we've said it before, but it's kind of
that right there's a star.
It's kind of unfortunate for Hangman Adam Page that Logan Paul does the buckshot lariat better than Hangman Page, because he does.
He's so good. He's so good, Logan Paul.
He's a great athlete, and he is. I mean, Rollins was the perfect foil, or I guess not. I guess foil is the word, but he was the perfect person to put him up against because he is such a heel, and people hate. Like,
wouldn't it be great though if Logan Paul beats him at WrestleMania? Oh, that'd be so good. Everyone will hate it to be so good.
Yeah, but like he became so. Remember coming out of Crown Jewel? Was it Crown Jewel that? People
him versus Roman, right?
Yeah, people were like, maybe we should like this guy because he's awesome.
Nah, the crowd doesn't. They don't want to like him. They don't.
Right, but putting him against Rollins made the most sense because everyone loves Rollins. Now everyone hates Logan, and it'll be a good match. Logan's he's a crazy athlete, man.
Yep.
For as much as everyone hates him, and he's a YouTuber and podcaster and all this stuff, man, he is a crazy.
It's a great show, man. It was a great show. And ultimately, I can't wait for this week because I got to see what they're going to do with the bloodline. I want to see what's going to go on with Sammy and what's going to go on with Jay now. And we get that, like, the story continues. It continues. Yeah. That's the plus about Sammy not winning last night. Story goes on. Story continues.
It's awesome that we already know what Roman's doing at Mania, but there's still so much for the bloodline to do for the next 6 weeks.
By the way, if I could add really quick, underrated spots at the end of the main event. I mean, Paul Heyman throwing the punches to the back of Kevin Owens. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny, man.
Heyman's the best, man. And also when the second referee, when he hit the second referee, there was a weird moment there where Heyman's just looking at Roman and kind of like laughing, and he's like, 2 referees. We took out 2 referees. It was like, I didn't know what was going on. It was almost like he was out of character for a second.
So, Mercedes Moné won the championship at NJPW this weekend.
Yeah, she beat Kyrie, which
love Kyrie.
Look, I love Kyrie, and I get it why they did it because it
feels cheap. Look, I was watching. I didn't watch it. I know what the buildup was. It feels cheap to me.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
Outside,
that she's one of the biggest free agents in a long time. They landed her, and they're trying to continue to generate buzz. They're doing more in the United States now. They have New Japan Strong, which is like their American like brand of New Japan. They're trying to become more popular in the States. They kind of had to do this to capitalize on having her. That being said, the IWGP Women's Championship is new. It's only been around for like 5 months, and Kyrie won it for the first time ever like 5 months ago, and now she loses it already. Kind of sucks for her. The match was good. I will say this, and I still contend, as much as I like Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, and I think she's great, she's not nearly the star that everyone says she is when she's not in WWE.
Dude, I mean, I've been saying this forever. I feel like she thinks she's a little bit bigger than she actually is. She's not a household name. She doesn't pass the mom test. All right, you know the mom test. If you ask your mother right now who is Sasha Banks, she doesn't know. She does
Especially if I ask my mom who Mercedes Moné is.
She does not pass the mom test. I think she is a little. She's not quite as big as she thinks she is.
Yeah,
and look, I know the crowd. Look, tell me what the crowd was like for that, because we talked about this when Mercedes Moné debuted. And look, you got to understand the culture out there. It's not. They cheer at the end of the match.
It was here. It was in San Jose.
Oh, okay. Because they don't cheer during the matches. Like, it's not their custom there. And of course, the crowd goes mild when Mercedes Moné came out. And also, I don't think everybody knows who she is.
Yeah, you know what else was interesting? I think the San Jose crowd was, and to go to a New Japan show, you have to be a New Japan fan, like a big New Japan, especially on the same night as Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
So you must be a pretty big fan. I think they were trying to be like the Japanese crowd. I think they were trying, because like during the match, they were doing like
how you behave at NJPW.
Like they do like a roll up, and they all start clapping, and I was like, all right, guys, like you're still an American crowd, like you could just act like an American crowd. You don't have to act like the Japanese crowd.
Yeah, I got news for you. If WWE did shows out there in Japan, they're not going to be cheering and going crazy. They're still going to be sitting on their hands,
right,
like they normally do.
Right. But also it was on Fight TV. The production value wasn't great, so I don't think the crowd was mic'd up great. She got a good reaction. I actually thought Kyrie got a better reaction, but maybe it was just when I was watching it, the way I felt. People love Kyrie, especially New Japan fans. She's awesome. So we'll see.
I think Mercedes thinks she's a little bit.
Now, they had a cool moment. So the main event was Okada Tanahashi, which, if you don't know anything about New Japan, that's like Rock Austin fighting each other. They took the company from nothing to what it is. Those two guys, actually, the announcers who were awesome. Ian Riccoboni, who's the guy from Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And Matthew, I don't know how you say his name. He used to be Aiden English.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
He's fantastic. By the way, AEW, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's one of the voices in Impact.
Yeah, like go get him. Go sign him up. Like, he's great.
He also does work for Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, he's awesome. He's very good as an announcer. Ian Riccoboni compared it to like Magic versus Bird.
Okay.
Tanahashi and Okada and Okada. But then at the end, Okada wins and brings Mercedes Moné out and like puts her over as the two champions. So they're trying.
All right.
The highlight of the night, and this is where I'll tie this back into WWE. Jay White, Eddie Kingston, loser leaves New Japan Pro Wrestling match. Jay White loses, and Jay White is in the United States now, and he just lost his last match in New Japan.
Let's go.
Maybe Jay White, Finn Balor. That would be something.
Let's go.
Give
me some Bullet Club build over the next 6 weeks. Let's go.
Now, I think most people probably think Jay White's going to AEW.
Like, does the WrestleMania crowd know Jay White?
You got 6 weeks to make him know, because he's awesome. It's only going to take one promo for Jay White to be over.
I agree.
He's really good.
I agree.
He's really good. I mean, I think 2 years ago, it would have been like, Jay White's coming to AEW. I don't think it's such a slam dunk that these guys from New Japan, the Kota Ibushi's, the Tama Tongas, the Jay Whites of the world, I don't think it's just like this home run that they're automatically going to AEW.
Cool as hell if Jay White comes to WWE.
Not to mention there's I mean, I'm not doing like a full Big Dirt thing this week, but like there's the rumors out that WWE is going to make a big offer to Kenny Omega. They want Kenny Omega. Like, imagine Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega going to WWE within like a year.
Yeah, I don't see it. I hope they try and make a run at him. I think, yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, but could you see Cody going back? I mean,
no, I couldn't have saw it at all. Of course
yeah.
not.
So,
Yeah.
but no. So Jay White loses that match, and he's out. But I think it's interesting that he's out officially, but the event was in the U.S., so he's here.
Yeah.
Although I guess Raw is in Canada, so I don't know. But anyways, he's close by. He could pop up.
Well, shit. I mean, he could be a Raw after WrestleMania guy.
He could be a Raw after WrestleMania guy. I just think of it like if Edge and Finn are done, that would be.
Well, AJ's not going to be out much longer, right? He's going to come back.
I don't know. I thought his injury was like not great. I thought he had a. I don't remember what his.
Well, speaking of which, before you give me this week's like big dirt, not big dirt, which I know you want to get to the Tony Khan, Ariel Helwani stuff. Yeah. I do want to get to Victor's notes. Our pal Victor, who's a big fan of the show. I want to get to Victor's notes from his corrections from last week. All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
I got some stuff here. You ready?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. So last week we talked about, like, both of us. I knew they had fought. I wasn't like 1,000% sure, but I was pretty sure. You couldn't remember. Yes, Pat McAfee fought Baron Corbin at SummerSlam, which was only like 7 months ago. Wasn't that long ago? All right. So yeah, it was. I don't remember where, but yes, it was at SummerSlam. All right. So there you go. And that was, I believe that was the show where, remember, Baron Corbin, who doesn't get enough credit.
McAfee fought Corbin after the Mania where he fought Vince McMahon, or is it two SummerSlams ago?
No, it was this past SummerSlam. Well, I'm not sure. I mean, that's what Victor's telling me here, but I think it's right.
Because is SummerSlam's not during college football season?
SummerSlam's in August.
Is college
maybe
football
end of July?
But I'm just saying,
McAfee did not join game day at the beginning of the year. That was a middle of the season thing. He came in like week 5 or something. Okay. He was not there at the start. But I don't remember.
I thought McAfee hasn't wrestled since the Vince and he fought Austin.
It was before that.
I don't know.
I feel like Victor looked it up. Okay. But remember, that was the show where McAfee came really close to falling off of the ropes when he jumped up there, and Corbin held him up, and so they were able to do the spot. Anyway, okay, let me see what else I got for you here. He also told us here, this I thought was interesting, where I was wondering, hey, when is Andrade seeing Almas returning to WWE? And he said here, Andrade's been off the television on AEW because he had pectoral surgery at the end of November. That was not that long ago. He signed a 3-year deal in 21, so that's obviously a ways away from being from expiring. But a month ago, he apparently did send out a tweet with a picture of a gym bag with his black skull mask and the word "bye."
Yeah, so, I saw that.
Who knows? I saw when that means.
Yeah, that's when all of the rumors started coming that he might be going to WWE. I remember when he tweeted that out. It was very, very cryptic by Andrade.
Yeah. So
by the way, it was 2022 SummerSlam. I guess I just forgot.
All right. And finally, here last week, I was talking about when we were talking about the Guns winning the championship. Like, who the hell have the Guns beat? It's weird as hell that they're the champions. Well, Victor came up with this whole list here of all the teams that they've beaten. But I got to tell you something. It is not an impressive list.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wins here. I mean, here, the Hughes, I'm going to give you some of them. The Hughes Bros, Chaos Project, Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson, Adrian Alanis and Liam Gray.
Don't know who that is.
Rick City Boys.
Don't know them.
Danhausen and Eric Redbeard. Varsity.
Eric Redbeard.
Yeah. How about that combo with Danhausen? Varsity Blondes.
They could have been
Bollywood Boys. I didn't even remember that. Now, they did beat FTR and the Acclaimed. Yeah. But also they've lost matches to the Acclaimed, to FTR, and to Jurassic Express. So there ain't a whole lot of big wins on that list right there. But that is the list of all the teams that they have beaten. And, of course, they are now the tag team champions. So
listen,
thank you.
AEW has some continuity and storytelling issues these days. So, and I know last week I ended by saying, guys, stick with me. I'm not going to keep crushing AEW. But, man, look. Zaz, I texted you on Wednesday. It was either Wednesday or Thursday after Dynamite, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it right now. Are you going to buy
tickets this week? This week, tickets go on sale for Dynamite and Rampage here in Sunrise.
I feel obligated to because it's here, but I don't think I'm the only one, by the way, because I've been seeing.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sit right
Oh
there
no,
in the
no,
front row.
I'm just saying. I've been seeing wrestling accounts and wrestling pundits, whatever that means, who are saying similar. Like there's something not quite there right now with AEW. It's a little.
I think it's really hard to consistently book a good wrestling show. And I think you're seeing that. Like it's still a very young company, AEW, and it's hard as hell to be consistently awesome.
Yeah, but there's like okay, but then like yes, that's true. But if that's the case, then like maybe let's just not have Jon Moxley bleed every week on TV. Like could we do that? Maybe like have Jade Cargill follow up on her 50th win, not just having another squash match on Friday night ramp. Like that those are the easy things. I know it's hard to have a great show every week. Mm-hmm. But like if we see it and other people see it, like somebody else, it's almost like, you know what it's a little bit like, and then this will pivot us, I guess, into the Helwani thing. It's a little like when Vince, towards the end of his booking, where everyone was like, the obvious thing is right there. And it was almost like Vince was like, yeah, I know that's the obvious thing, but I'm going to do what I like and screw you guys because I know wrestling. Yeah. I feel like the last couple months of AEW, Tony Khan's been doing I know what the internet wants, but you know what? I like these guys. I like Daniel Bryan. I like when Jon Moxley bleeds. I want to see him and Hangman fight 30 times. Like that's what it feels like.
So so you loved the Tony Khan Ariel Helwani exchange.
Well, I think it's again. I mean,
well, so Helwani was like a reporter on Friday night on SmackDown in Montreal, and also he narrated an incredible video package to set up Saturday night's main event. And
to be fair, and to set up the whole thing, Ariel Helwani works for BT Sport, who is WWE's European partner.
Right. Okay.
So there's a lot of people who think like, oh, Ariel, this journalist works for WWE. He doesn't.
And also, hey, Nick Khan was his agent.
Right. And that's the other thing. Everyone's like, oh, Ariel loves WWE because of Nick Khan and this and that.
Well, how about he loves WWE because he grew up a pro wrestling fan?
Well, also, how about, when WWE wasn't very good and AEW started, if you watch Ariel Helwani every week, he was all in on AEW. He was praising AEW. What they're doing is special. They're doing great things. Now WWE is doing great things. So on his show, he talks about how great WWE is.
And so was this tongue in cheek where, I mean, Tony Khan, he took
backstory.
A shot there?
So Tony Khan, Ariel is doing his reporter thing as like a reporter on SmackDown. Tony Khan sends out a tweet.
God, my favorite growing up as a kid was when Jesse Ventura would call himself a broadcast journalist. I loved that.
So I think Tony Khan So another thing about Ariel is that I'm a big fan of Helwani. I'm a big UFC guy, big combat sports guy, and I listen to all of Helwani's stuff like every week. The other thing you got to know about Helwani is he's super petty. He is a petty individual. When people talk shit about him, he does these long half-hour, 45-minute takedowns on his show. Like he will come after you if you come after him. So Tony Khan sends out this tweet after Helwani's on SmackDown, which I thought already was weird because it's like, oh, so Tony Khan's just openly telling the world that on a night where he had a show, he's watching SmackDown. He sends out a tweet that says, "You're a fraud at Ariel Helwani. You're as legitimate of a reporter as Tony Schiavone. Hashtag AEW Rampage."
I don't understand that. Like, why is he taking a shot at Schiavone there?
I'm wondering, because I didn't watch Rampage. Maybe Schiavone had a segment on Rampage where he was a reporter doing an interview. I don't know.
I mean, did Ariel say recently like something negative about Schiavone?
No. I think Tony Khan in his mind was like, I'm going to make a joke on Tony, something, because Schiavone in his, he started as like a baseball reporter or a commentator for basable.
Oh yeah, Atlanta. He was all over the Atlanta sports scene. Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know if he thought he was just making a funny joke, or if it was supposed to.
And also to add even a little bit more backstory to it, the last appearance that Tony Khan had on Ariel Helwani's show,
that's
shortly after Brawl Out, and
Helwani said it was the worst interview he's ever done.
Yeah, but it was so bad because it was frustrating because he he was frustrated with Tony Khan, who was not willing to give just like
anything.
He wouldn't give him any meat off the bone. Just gave him nothing. It was all PR talk, and
it was a very bad interview. I watched it. It was just
that's kind of the start of it.
And Tony Khan at the beginning of the interview said, "I'm an open book. I'm transparent about everything."
And Tony Khan has pulled that shit on the Levitard show also when they've asked him about Urban Meyer. Because of course Tony Khan's involvement with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it's like he's pulled that same shit also. Like he's not he doesn't have to be an open book, but he's not an open book.
Right. So yes. So Helwani on the show said it was one of the worst interviews he's done, one of the most frustrating interviews he's done. So Tony Khan sends that tweet out. Helwani responds later. Thanks for watching, old friend. Can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen to the snowman, Shivani. You're a legend in my books.
Jesus.
To which Khan replied, good luck with the unbiased journalism. So,
I mean, that doesn't sound like playful.
Right. So if we thought it was some kind of work, when Helwani says, don't listen to the snowman. We know it's not.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
That is
but at the same time, I don't know why Tony Khan is trying to pick that fight there. That seems I don't know.
Because for a few reasons. A, like what are you doing? Like and B, Helwani's not the guy. Like you don't because now I'm telling you, tomorrow, we're recording this Sunday night. Helwani has a 4-hour show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And on his show, he's gonna crush Tony Khan.
You're right.
On Wednesday, he has another 4-hour show, and he has a 4-hour show where he has a segment called
Ariel's got 4 hours every day to do whatever he wants. Tony does not.
And then on Wednesday, again, he has a segment called On the Nose where listeners send in questions, and one of the things that is a known thing with the listener questions is someone always gives them the hot tag. And the hot tag is whatever the most controversial Helwani thing is, they ask him about it so he can go on a long rant.
That's good.
Someone on Wednesday is going to give him the hot tag about Tony Khan, and he's going to go in on Tony Khan again. And it's just going to keep going. It's just not a great look for him. Because
he can't help himself sometimes.
Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But you're talking about a guy who has this massive platform of people who love this business, who are going to listen to him, whether they like him or not. He's going to be crushing you this whole week. He's going to talk about how your product's not good right now. He's going to talk about how you're not booking the show well. He's going to talk about how your former wrestlers have come out and talked about how you do drugs with other wrestlers in your business, and that's how you choose to book them. Like, he's going to talk about these things. You shouldn't, what is it, glass house throwing stones, whatever the saying is. Like, he can't do that. But the best part is the legend, Michael Cole. The legend.
Did he say something? Did he get into it?
Last night.
On the broadcast?
On the broadcast. They cut to Ariel Helwani and George St. Pierre, the Montreal legend, George St. Pierre.
I didn't even see that.
The greatest welterweight in UFC history.
He was my favorite.
George St. Pierre. They cut to him. And Cole, George St. Pierre, one of the greatest in history. And Ariel Helwani, the unbiased, world-renowned sports journalist who asks all the hard questions.
Oh, that's
whether
funny.
You want to answer them or not.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny.
Michael Cole.
That's good. That's good.
You want to talk about the GOAT. That's Michael Cole. Michael Cole, that was one of the best lines in Michael Cole's career. Most people have no fucking clue what he's talking about. But if you know,
but people who do,
you know, and it's very good.
Yeah. That's funny. That's a good note to end on today, man. That's good. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
Man, all right, I'm glad you mentioned that. Really good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to it. Great Raw and SmackDown shows this week. And look, we got AEW. Maybe it'll surprise us this week, right smack in the middle there.
Yeah, they've had like 2 or 3 straight stinkers, so it's time for a good one. And maybe instead of just dribbling basketballs, the Elite will wrestle. I don't know.
Joey, excellent job. Tell all your fans that you'll miss them and you'll talk to them next week. Go ahead.
I'll miss you guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. And hopefully AEW has maybe we'll get Jay White on AEW and things will start to pick up. Things will start.
I hope everyone enjoyed the Elimination Chamber reaction show today. You obviously understand it's coming out on Sunday instead of coming out on Saturday. And I apologize that it's coming out so late on Sunday, but I had stuff going on. I was out of town, and then I got soccer for my son So there's a lot happening here
all good.
around the Zaslow.
We gave him 24 hours to process.
Yeah, there you go, man. And this show's evergreen. You can listen to it all week long. All right, it's not gonna be outdated. Joey, excellent job. Make sure everybody out there, you listen, you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you next weekend on It's Still Real to Me as well. See ya.